Hello and welcome to 4,000 and Counting. I am Watty, and today I am joined by my main man, Mark. He is back in action, passport ready to go. Big things coming, 4,000 and Counting. But we got to stay a little closer to home today. And we are going to talk about the NIHL 1 and the NIHL 2 playoff weekend. Now, notice I combined those. Guess what? So are the EIHA. The England Ice Hockey. The EIHA have decided that the best way forward would be for a North 1 and 2 and a South 1 and 2 finals, both at the same venue. Now, it was supposed to be, the Southern one was supposed to be at Alexandra Palace, where the NIHL 2 held theirs last year, which was sold out. Fantastic. The NIHL 2 absolutely smashed it. I know last year that they had to turn down a major sponsorship with a major lager corporation because Planet Ice did not like the fact that the NIHL 2 was going to be sponsored by them, leaving round about 10 grand on the table, give or take, which sucks. I also know that the NIHL events team made £12,000 profit from that event last year alone. Bearing in mind they didn't really have any organisation to do because that was taken care of by Lee Mercer and the team down at Haringey there, and some other people behind the scenes for sure that got involved and helped. But the NIHL 1 in MK was not very well supported. It didn't do great. You know, you still had a good amount of fans there, but it was by no means a sellout. So by combining the NIHL 1 and NIHL 2 playoff finals, this is where I want to get some questions at you, Mark. Initially, the first semi-final was going to take place at 10:30 a.m. on the Saturday, and that was going to be an NIHL 2 game. It was then going to be followed by a 1:30 game, a 4:30 game, and an 8 p.m. face-off. And that went NIHL 2, NIHL 1, NIHL 2, NIHL 1. First question I have for you, Mark. How would you feel about getting out of bed? Bear in mind, let's say Cardiff qualify, and it was gonna be all the way down in Ali Pally. Cardiff qualify, and they've got that 10:30 game, right? Hockey players, we get to the rink 2 hours before game. Okay, so you're gonna have to leave Cardiff at like fucking 5 a.m. Well, you're going to be sitting on the motorway smashing your pasta in. Like, what do you think about that as in a player safety kind of aspect? Yeah, that.
That's very
Yeah,
early in
that.
the breakfast club. What are they going to do? Stop in Little Chef on the way?
I know, mate. Like, so
That's very early.
it's brutal, and not only that, the other side of it. If you're an NIHL 1 team that have qualified in the top 4, why the fuck should your semi-final when you've got a final the next day? Why should that be at 8 p.m.? That's outrageous. Right, by the time you finish, let's say it goes to OT. That's 11 o'clock. You got to get your kit off. You now got to find some food that's open at post 11 p.m. And you want it to be semi-nutritious, right? You've just played a game. And then you got to get back to your hotel and try and get to sleep post semi-final, ready for the final. Adrenaline's going to be high. But you're going to get to sleep. 2 o'clock, half 2, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a tough look, mate. So it was supposed to be at Ali Pally. Now, I've heard from a couple of sources that the EIHA didn't actually. Don't at me that EIHA England Ice Hockey. I'll call them what I call them. You know who I mean. So they put the emails out to the clubs, and the clubs weren't happy. The NIHL 2 feel that they should have had their own event, and the NIHL 1 feel like they should have had their own event. Now, picking Easter weekend for a start is fucking nuts. One of the busiest weekends in the entire country.
Calendar.
Yeah, for anything. Easter weekend's crazy. Doesn't matter if you're in a snooker hall, you're playing darts, you're on the ice, going public skating, bowling alleys, whatever it is, packed out. Now, to put the event on at Alexandra Palace last year was going to be circa, say, £10,000. Now there was a bit of a bump up this year, and you were looking at it coming in almost three times that. Okay, the England ice hockey didn't actually pull the trigger and book it. So now there is rumours of Bristol hosting the NIHL 1 and NIHL 2. Who runs Bristol? Planet Shite.
Yeah, didn't even need to answer that really.
Like UK hockey, right? I don't know what it is. And also, like, Steve Merry and Danny Percher, they shouldn't be anywhere fucking near it. At me if you want. You can both go fucking suck it. I don't give a shit. Right, they should be nowhere near it. They run Coventry. Stevie Wonder can fucking run Coventry weekend. Everyone pumps their tires because, oh yeah, my God, they're so amazing. No, bollocks, shite. Absolute shite. And they don't do enough to warrant them being there. They're not hockey people. Just because you watched hockey and you sniffed some jock straps around fucking Bracknell ice rinks for 20 years doesn't mean you should be in there running events. I don't know. I don't know what you think about it.
I'm not even involved. I'm not a hockey person in any way, but I know my place.
That's a good way of putting it. I mean, this isn't for me to sit here and try and get personal with those boys because there's a lot more than just those lads there. I think they're probably the ones that are front and center, so they're going to get the heat, and they're going to get the heat when shit doesn't work. Which, I'm hearing that this agreed upon format was actually agreed upon at a board meeting last year. Now, as you well know, Mark, what's happened in the last year? Bye bye, Barry. Bye, Barry. Get it up, yeah. Bye bye, George Edison, not a lawyer. Who, by the way, I spoke to someone this week again. A really good guy. I'm not going to name him on here, but he's an ex-lawyer. And he just happened to bring up in a conversation. He goes, by the way, I listened to your podcast about the whole, the DOPS thing. So I jumped on the bar because obviously I'm a member of the bar. No fucker's ever heard of this guy. No one's heard of this guy. Okay, so let's say that this plan got put in place then at that last year's board meeting. Why are we doing stuff with last year's chairman who left under a disgraced cloud? Maybe it's time to revisit it, no?
Well, you would think that when someone has been removed and is gone, you sort of go forward with new aspirations and plans, don't you?
Yeah, you would like to think so, right? Someone's gone, they've gone the way they did. Evidently his ideas were shite. So, he's bringing up terrible plans and he's a bit of a weapon. He's not helped anyone out, and himself included, by getting involved and by doing the things that that ended up happening. But that doesn't let's not take away from the NIHL 2 boys, because these guys, this is their Stanley Cup. Some of these kids will never play more than NIHL 2. So that playoff finals weekend, it's their Stanley Cup final, right? And it's a good opportunity to play in front of a sold out barn. It's a good opportunity to, make a mark. And for some of these kids, it might be a good opportunity to get noticed by an NIHL 1 club and maybe a National League team, because some of the kids in that league will have aspirations of stepping up. Why should their weekend be almost gate crashed by NIHL 1 and vice versa? Like, that's pretty bad form in my opinion.
It does a complete discredit to the league. The league has got a little bit stronger as well.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm hearing some very good things about that level. So,
well, Adam Jones just signed for the Buffalo.
There we go.
Like, the guy was like, well, arguably an all-star defenseman in the NIHL like 2 seasons ago. Obviously, last year he missed a lot of time due to concussions and injuries and shit. But the year before, like, he was in the top 3 or 4 D-men in the national, and he's now playing NIHL 2.
So, like, respect the leagues and give them their highlight of the year.
I agree. I totally agree. I think the same for NIHL 1 as well. It's a
Yeah.
competitive league this year. You got Slough right there at the top, Streatham, and obviously you've got, in my opinion, a better Invicta team this year. You've got a better Chelmsford team this year. You know, look at Chelmsford. Have got guys like Lauday and Kinger. Lewis Clifford's in as coach. Invicta have brought back some guys. They've got some new young kids coming in there as well. The league as a whole has improved. Oxford are trying to do different bits. They just can't seem to get any wood on the ball at the moment on the ice. But the way they're running the club off the ice, my big thing is, right, whether it ends up being Ali Pally. Let's say it's Ali Pally. Let's break it down. Let's say it's Ali Pally, right?
Yeah.
Soon as those tickets come out, Streatham and Haringey sell the place out on their own.
Yeah.
That simple. They sell that place out on their own. Okay. Let's say they have it at Streatham. Same thing. Streatham and Haringey sell that place out
Same scenario.
on their own. Now, let's say it does end up being Bristol. We're going to have 12% increase of ticket cost straight away because you have the Planet Ice booking fee, which is going to mean that you're going to have to pay more money for the fans.
12%.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, mate. If you take a family
That's a
of
video in itself. That's
it
a
is,
video in itself.
yeah, it is totally a video in itself. I mean, you've got a family of four. That's a good chunk of change extra, what, just for having the privilege of having a ticket. And the maddest thing is, I can just fucking go on here, log on, buy it, and it's on my phone. Don't have to touch it. Some security guy scans a fucking barcode on the way in. Does that worthy of 12% of however much the finals weekend's going to be? I know the cost is still in negotiation. Excuse me. There's no concrete cost. And also we had the NIHL National League put their tickets out this week. And well, X or Twitter is having a shit fit because MK fans buying tickets in other blocks, Telford fans not being able to get tickets because people have bought tickets in their blocks, and so on and so forth. What do you make of that? Like, I remember back in the day, surely it used to be that, like, let's say Basingstoke, 300 tickets. And if they don't sell them, so let's say there was 50 left, 50 went back to the event and then they were got released on public sale. This year, it seems to be a bit of a free-for-all and people are not happy.
What you've got this year, well, last year, and as a more recent, is the addition of the Leeds Knights, and they have grown tremendously as a fan base.
Oh, huge.
I'm going to set a few people saying this next thing, but I don't really care.
Sweet.
I think it's time that we moved on from Coventry, but
Oh, I
it's a
agree.
Planet Ice. It's a Planet Ice arena.
National League.
We need something a little bigger. MK have
Cardiff.
phenomenal support. Leeds have phenomenal support. Whereas Cardiff around the same capacity as Coventry, isn't it about 3K?
Yeah, but it's not shit on Planet Ice, don't run it.
But we need something a little bit bigger as well.
I agree, mate.
Honestly, we need
Mate, if Planet Ice
too big.
Yeah, I agree. If Nottingham, sorry, if this Trafford thing ends up happening and they do make it that 5 to 7,000, it is a Planet Ice rink. I very much see the NIHL playoffs moving there eventually.
It would be great because the league is expanding. You know, there are more eyes watching the hockey now than there has been in
Solway
previous
are in.
seasons. So yeah, another team, and their crowds are phenomenal this season. Did you see the post like last week?
Yeah, 844, and that is up on around about a 345 average. There's actually a really good interview, John Strange, who is going to be on the podcast 4,000 counting again next week. But he did a great interview with Andy up at Sharks TV. It was really interesting because they talked a lot about the business side, and John was open about like the money and the plans and the fans and everything else. Like, John's a good guy. Go check it out and watch what he has to say. I won't put words in his mouth. But like, he's talking of wanting to get 1,000 in there. He's talking like, I think it was 100 season tickets they are currently, with the ambition to be 250 by next year. And he also talks about having a conversation with Aaron now, maybe in the summer. And Aaron had told him in Leeds' first season they had 100 season tickets. In their second season, they had 450 season tickets. That's the growth that you're talking about, though, Mark, right there.
And we need to transform that in every aspect we can. We don't want to be staying in the same position. If we're growing off the ice in terms of fan attendances across the leagues, and it's happening solidly, and Leeds are proving it, that one of the more, a new addition, well, not really new anymore, but Solway, again, another fan base has grown, and they're going to love that first playoff experience.
Absolutely. Like, and
Like,
let me tell
really.
you, those Sharks fans, they're gonna come to fucking party, and they're gonna be a fun bunch at that Coventry weekend. They're gonna get some pints in them. I'm sure there's gonna be some kilts in action. I'm sure there's gonna be some tartan fucking war paint and all sorts of stuff going on from the Solway fans. They're gonna bring a big thing to the event. Do MK was saying they believe some of the fans, and I probably agree with him actually, they should have 3 blocks as opposed to the 2. Then their fans wouldn't have to disappear off and be by. I remember back in the day, like Guildford would have 3 blocks. MK
Yeah.
would have 2.5, 3 blocks, whatever it was. If you're selling regularly to 2,350 seats at EPL, and I mean regularly, which they are, not EPL, sorry,
Yeah.
National League, faux pas on my part. Maybe they should, if they've got 800 season ticket holders. Here's something that someone else said. Maybe you can talk about it from a fan's perspective. So I know I know you wasn't really a season ticket. You're a season ticket with football, weren't you? But not hockey.
Never at hockey.
Yeah. So one of the fans said, should season ticket holders get first refusal on playoff tickets? As a player, I don't really have an opinion on this because it's never really affected me. But if I was like a Joe Blogs fan, I wouldn't be able to have a season ticket because of work, because of podcasts, because of life, have a baby, all the other shit. I would feel probably a little bit hard done by that just because you put your money in in fucking June instead of throughout the season that you have more right to go to the playoffs than me. I don't tend to agree with it.
So I'm going to give you an example. So this team here, Cometa Bruno, they, with their season ticket, because we have a friend that has a season ticket, playoff games are included.
That's banana lands, by the way. Absolutely fucking crazy. And these are best of sevens. This isn't like a Mickey Mouse quarterfinal 2 game aggregate where you're giving away essentially one game. Because if you was to do that in the UK, you're literally giving away one game because it's either the Saturday or the Sunday, and then it's Coventry, it's Nottingham the next week, right?
Yep.
You could get what, quarterfinal, semi-final, final. You could get, let's say Kometa go all the way this year, which I really do hope they do because I'm turning into a little bit of an undercover Kometa fan, right? You could get fucking 21 games of hockey. At least half of them are going to be at home. So at least 10 games are going to be at home. That's providing they go the distance, right? And they go 7 game series. You could get an extra 10 games of hockey on your season ticket. Now, Mark, what did we pay for the tickets in the fan zone? £8.25?
Yep.
I honestly, I would encourage any of you that go to Cometa, watch a game, spend your £8.25. Don't bother going in the seats. Oh, by the way, the atmosphere in the seats is fucking electric as well. I'm not doing them a disservice, but it's different, man. Sitting up in that fan zone, chucking empty pints at the net, legally, you're not being a wanker when you do that at Cometa. Like it's part of the thing. Like, do you know what? Mark sent me a video the other day. He's like, "What? You're gonna love this. It's fucking hilarious." And they've got 2 mascots in Cometa. 2 mascots in Cometa, right? They're like fucking giant polar bears or whatever they are. I think I put a picture out when we were there. And these boys or girls, there might be girls, but with their arm on it, I'm guessing it was a lad, right? In between the ad breaks, when they're doing like the period, not period breaks, TV timeouts. These guys skate out on the ice and they do their bit, and they come back and they've got like fucking legit snowballs, yeah. And they're just launching them into the fan curve, and all the fans are loving it, like proper banter. You know what had happened here? Karen would be going, "Oh yeah, my disabled son was sat on the front row and he got hit with snow," and someone would be going, "Oh, my suit jacket," and do you know what? Everyone would be bitching over there, mate. I was watching everybody's reaction in the video, yeah. Everybody's laughing their ass off. They think it's hilarious. They think it's funny. It's a great interaction and it's fun. What happened to having fun at hockey?
Bring back fun.
Bring back fun. Um, we are going to record another video, folks, but that was our take on the NIHL 1 and 2. I really hope common sense prevails. I hope both NIHL 1 and 2. Obviously, we focus more on the southern section. It is going on in the north as well, but I haven't really spoken to anyone from the north, so I don't really want to like misspeak on their behalf. Maybe it's going to be successful up north. I think they do it at Sheffield, which is a great venue. Sheffield's a fucking brilliant venue. Sheffield.
Really nice.
Great venue. There's 2 pads there, so maybe the boys don't have to fucking face off in the morning. That's what I said to my pal. I was like, it's almost like you're a Sunday league footballer. Right, get up, 10 a.m. kickoff. Let's go sweat those beers out from last night. Not this is your potential, like your version of the Stanley Cup final. You better get up in the morning at fucking 4 a.m. and eat some pasta. Oh, one thing I haven't talked about, and actually I think it's very important. NIHL 2 is pay to play, right? For the most part.
Yeah.
So let's say Cardiff do make it and they go, right, boys, I think it's going to be best we get a hotel. Obviously, you'd have to get the hotel for the Saturday because you're planning on winning and sticking around for the Sunday, right? So you're definitely getting a hotel for Saturday. But now they're probably going, fucking hell, if we get that 11 o'clock game, we should probably be there the night before. They're going to have to pony up the dough themselves. These boys are going to have to find the money. What's that? Let's say it's, whether it's Bristol, whether it's London, whether it's Milton Keynes or that, you ain't getting a hotel room for cheaper than 120 quid on Easter weekend. Not a chance. Easter weekend.
More to the point, man. More
Sorry,
to the point, there shouldn't be a semi-final playoff game at 11 a.m. Like, show the league a little bit of respect. Like,
there's me and a polar bear there.
That looks like Berlin.
That is Berlin indeed. That is Berlin. And again, guys and girls, if you've never been, go check out some games in Berlin. It's so much fun. Again, though, we sat in the posh seats the first time. It was like 30 odd quid a ticket. Didn't mind because couldn't get in the fan curve. Fan curve was sold out. The next day we were in the fan curve. Brilliant. What a vibe. Great atmosphere. Good people. I think a ticket cost me £18 there. €18, €19, about 18 quid. Call it that. I took my friend Sergio, former footballer, Portuguese guy, fucked off and left me. He was down the front with all the fucking diehards, mate. Like, he was more into it than I was. He's like, Nick, you mind if I was like, no, man, I'm great here. I had like a wicked view. I was like the 4th step up, 10, 12 feet to the right of the goal. So I'm like, bro, I'm not moving anywhere. Like, I'm stood like I got fucking invisible lat syndrome. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to buy some space. He's down in the mix. He's loving life. And that's what hockey could bring to these people. And that's what hockey could bring to here. And that's how our playoffs should be. Our playoffs should be everybody being able to go. If you're going to combine the 2 leagues and have 2 leagues in one hit, right? You can't do that at a 1,200 seat facility.
Nope.
Milton Keynes would be the only logical place to do it. Like Milton Keynes is a nice rink, you get 2,500 people in there. Because let's say Streatham will travel well, Haringey will travel exceptionally well, Invicta will travel well, Chelmsford for the most part will travel well. By the way, if I haven't mentioned your team, I do apologise. And these are just the ones that are rolling off the top of my head. I mean, maybe even like Basingstoke travel well because you've got Adam Jones, you've got Harlan Wilson, you've got Paul Petch, you've got Dan Weller-Evans. There is no Bison. There is no Bison playoffs. Maybe the bar.
People need a hockey fix.
Well, especially Basingstoke people, mate. You're only allowed 100 people in the fucking barn. So maybe if Basingstoke make the Final 4, maybe they bring fucking 800 Bison fans with them. Like, these are all the things
that'd be mental.
That'd be sick. I know. What I do like is the Bison have been given a block at the NIHL playoffs, so I love that. Well done.
Oh, really? That's nice. Yeah.
I've actually got some news, Mark, that I'm going to share with you off of the air because it couldn't be any further off the fucking record. Sorry, people, for the teaser. But when I am allowed, I promise you, it's coming out thick and fast. But that's a story for another day. Basingstoke deserve to have their fans at the NIHL weekends. It's not their fault that their rink's been taken from them. Also, one thing, Mark, here you go. Someone put a comment out the other day. And it's Keep Ice from Basingstoke. If you don't follow them on Twitter, please do follow them. We really want to keep ice around here. I would love there to be an ice rink fucking on my doorstep for when
Yes.
my son's older, right? They said the reason that we weren't allowed fans in the building this year so they could do work, right? And they just said,
Yeah.
you haven't done any fucking work yet. Why are we not allowed fans in?
Fair point.
Great point. Like, a great point. If you're not going to do the work, get the fucking people back in. They know that the building might fall down on their head. They don't give a shit. They still didn't miss a Bison game last year. I was there. They packed that barn out.
Why would Planet Ice allow that though? Because they want to take every penny they can. Why did it just happen like that?
Oh mate, I don't know.
Like there's a lot of things to go from there. You know, like they could have, if they weren't going to do anything all year and they knew it, why did Bison have to fold like that? When they could have had the fans in.
Maybe, just maybe, just maybe, someone believed them when they said they were going to do the work.
I get that, but
well, because we talked about it here, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it on here. Let's fucking roll it back to April 23, yeah. Leading into the playoffs, about to be finished. And we knew. We were like, okay, wicked. The junior season finishes mid-May. I was like, wicked, get that rink fucking shut, start going, and hopefully by, September the following year, so this year, 2025, that's 18 months, everything that needed to be done will be done. They only picked a fucking paintbrush up, mate. Let alone the structure, the boards, the plant, anything else that needs fixed. I'll tell you another thing I did like. Remember when we put a post out and we put a picture out and it was the mold. You can see it visually. You can see it visually growing in a fucking photograph. I don't even know how that's possible. All across the DJ box. So what you couldn't see, or maybe you could, I can't even remember the photo fully, but I remember the front of it being all green, right? Week after that video, I get sent a picture from one of the rec boys, and they cleaned all the front of it, yeah. So there's no mold on the front. They left the mold on the fucking sides. like, what?
That's a proper trotter's job, that is.
Yeah, independent traders, mate. I was like, is that not the most Planet Ice thing ever? They went, what? Look, and they sent me a picture from the front, and then they sent me a picture from both sides. Both sides were as green as what the front was. So what you've done is basically someone's gone round there, they've walked past the side bit to get to the front bit, wiped all the front bit off, and then fucking walked back past the green bit on the side and just buoyed it off. Like, if that ever sums up Planet Ice, like perfectly, that is it. Clowns. Fucking clown show. I had an interesting. I'm gonna save that one for another video. Ladies and gents, please do subscribe. Please do follow. Maybe our shit's controversial. We don't care. At me all you want. If you've got he, him in your fucking thing, don't expect me to take you seriously. Right. If you've got something to say to me, crack the fuck on. I've got thick skin. You forget I used to skate around out there and 9,000 you used to boo the living shit out of me. I don't care. But if you're going to come at me, you better come at me good, because if I come back at you, you're going to know about it. Ladies and gents, as I say, we've got some controversial topics coming up over the next couple of weeks. You're going to want to be here. You're not going to want to miss them. Players First podcast. We got our boys. We got our girls up and down the entirety of the UK. Stick with us, and we will see you for another episode very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.